This is KNR. Radio according to you.
And now, South African music at its best on KNR.
Radio. As I said it, the children, I've got two visitors in that channel. Nosis Noba Tembo, Snayo no Sia G. Well, between well, Tinasgao Gama well, between my emhlabeni. We are not twins, Tina. Usiake, une like. Unfortunately, Aliko ke apa. He's a twin, so une double blessing. Une double blessing because we all know. Ne ba amawele intsikelelo emhlabeni. It's a double blessing for abazali bakhe. Sia, welcome to Kip Ngesi Radio.
Molo Olwethu.
Njani cho?
Ndiyaphila by God's grace man. Bakaba wengcine kahle. Njani kum?
Sibulela ukuphila, sibulela ukugcinwa, sibulela ukufihlwa phansi kwempiko samaZulu. Just give us a brief. Andifuna uyifake ngokwami brief. Just give us a little bit of a background of who's Sia. Usiya ukhulele phi, where does he come from, what does he do?
Okay, molweni baphulaphuli. Ngisiyabulela mina wakwaGwahube. Born and bred eMdantsane, ku unit yakwa 8 ku 43. I'm one of the last borns ku mama noNtutuzelo kwaGwahube, ntombi yakwaMlanzeli, noZithobile kwaGwahube. So there was a lot of growth that took place during that time spiritually. Even as Nickland kuyo nje. God has always been there. God has been with me through and through, up until I'm back in East London now. Also by the grace of God, currently working and also have my own business. But I'll tabulate that as I'm sharing my testimony. But that was just an overview of Usiya ngubani. Usiya ngufana ka8. Tata wentombi ezimbini, uMevuyo, noTimna. Yes.
Now, I've known the other side of Sia, the Christian side of Sia. Just give us a little bit of background on your testimony and what God has been good to you with. Because I want to, tend to think that when I try to elaborate in the city, God has his own way. They tend to think, we are exaggerate. And I always say, God always has a plan. Siyawa sivuke sivuke nobomi sehlelwa zizinto ezideep ebomini bethu, sonzakala ezinhliziyweni, sonzakale physically, sonzakale spiritually. But give us like an overview, everything about your testimony. Just lay it bayibone, because I want them to see the reality of Christianity. Ne? to see that as Christians we also make mistakes, but we depend on uThixo more than anyone.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, that's one of the reason why introduction. So God was sevenza, but I was not there. I was not doing anything that was godly. I was just living ubomi bami. So I had lost everything by that time. Starting with 2017, the downward spiral started. By to a point that by 2018, doesn't think nendlu yami endandinayo eMtanzania. So come end of 2018, 2019, I moved back home in Monti. I was in a bad space. I was depressed. Xa ku-depression ke uyubona uba kwenzeka ntoni ngobomi bam. Is there any way out? That suicidal spirit yafika. All of these things, they happened all at the same time, because remember now, you were this father who one another they were proud of. You were this son who any parent can boast about. You were the level that umuntu wakho uthi ngumuntu wami lo, yabo, without having fear. But now you've been reduced to lendo. Your siblings, it's not that they hated me at the time, it's just that they hated the situation. Yabona? So that felt like is rejection, because no one wanted to be a bad wena umdala ube luxanduva on top of them. So there were a lot of things that senseka until then she was 11, 10, I think, yeah. Umntanami said, okay, fine, ngicela uze to one of his services babenazo ecaweni yabo. And I was like, oh, okay, ngizaya kanjani, because even at that time ndabe ndizibona uba situation yami ngizawuphuma ngantoni kwalapha ka-8 ubheka ngasedorophini and all of those things. But no, she'll speak to the mother and she'll handle it. And that touched me, because forcing a child at that age to think like an adult, because she's thinking that she must go and talk to a parent and all of those things. But needless to say, I was invited to Jesus Dominion International of Raftima Motosho and our pastor Chooks. and ndafika phayana. It was not an environment endiqhelileyo or anything. Ndafika nje, I saw how they were doing things. It's a prophetic ministry, so a word of knowledge was spoken upon my life. Ndaxelwa where I went wrong, and then we prayed, and then that's when I learned ke ngokuthi actually Christianity is a lifestyle. It's not more of a religion. If you put it as a religion, God wants to work in your life, uyabona, and he needs you uba ube uthi ndifuna usebenze ebomini bam, ufuna ukubona uba yabona ngoku I've tried yonke into, sense uba I've tried all sort of things that are here. I've tried even zonke, whether you talk of rituals, you talk of anything that man can think of, you've tried. And then now uza uthi ndize kuwe bawo. Thatha ubomi bam ubuse kule ndawo befanele kube kuyo. And genuinely crying to God. I remember those times. Being a heavy drinker, I think 2019 imsele wonke. No, was it 9 insuku ndingaziselanga. So from that time, when I decided and I cried to God, and I could see tears from my mom that she's not even speaking, the set of disappointment to abanye abantu. I had lost everything. The character yam was out of place, so I needed to work on myself. Truly and out. Not like the way I used to see God, see scripture. Just basically work on mna, and ngenceba kabawo ministry that I am, we deal with when working out your own salvation, working out inhliziyo yakho, and making sure that you are seeking the face of God continuous, because injaba zakho which is Satan, we like to praise Satan, but when you overcome kancinci and then you drop the ball, even that spirit, that demon, anything that was casted away from you was wakhuleka. Wow, you got the job. You still gonna find enemies there. You bought the car. You still have to put petrol. You still have to buy the tire. It's the same with Christianity. It's not a once-off thing that you go to. Ufumane solution. Uphume ecaleni. That thing is still with you. If you had into obunayo ebikubambile, that demon went, that devil went, but it's coming back stronger. Xa ifuna ukukhangela ngokubona uba unamandla, so you continue beyond your life. So you needed to work out ezo zinto. So for my own testimony, it was an ongoing, because God needed to see whether I was ready enough now, because God can grant you, if you are persistent, God can grant you a blessing which can destroy you. So since in my case, I was granted earlier years as a young child and as a young youth, God saw what I'm capable of doing. So before He can actually unlock yourself, He needed to train you, to make sure that you are hard enough, to make sure that you are responsible enough, to make sure that you know. So uThixo usebenza ngolo hlobo. uThixo ufuna wena. That is how it happened kum. Wandazi uba okay, this is you enhlizweni yakho. Ungaphuma apha uthetha nabantu uzenze emhluthini, but i-secret life yakho injani? So I think mna per se, that's what worked for us as Christians. I-secret life, nendumiso yatsho, he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High. That is your secret life. Into yenzayo ngobomi bakho xa uwedwa erumini. Who do you cry to? Sithetha notshomi, sithetha nabantu that take our problems bazenze inhlekisa, that take izinto and start judging, but oh, wayenje wayenjani. But if you are crying to the Lord genuinely from enhlizweni yakho, genuinely say ukuthi ndimrongo ngolu hlobo, ndithe ndingumoni phambi kwakho, it worked, and you continue as you are improving, making these mistakes, falling, but you fall unto God. Uphinde uye kuye. So from there things started happening. Ndabuyela emsebenzini. I left that other job and got a better one, which is managerial. So God has been taking things step by step. By the grace of God, I registered a company, and I'm entering into his spaces where ndandingazange ndizicinga uba ndizazi-entarisha when I'm talking to abantu that control into ezininzi apha eSouth Africa. Ndizicinga uba Thixo yinceba yakho le. I do not qualify for only all of these things. As I'm talking to you now, speaking the word of God, sharing my testimony, I do not qualify even to be sitting here and talking to you and wena umamele mna. But I know by the grace of God, is that whenever someone shares a testimony, I partake in that testimony. Whenever I was listening to Susnova Tembu earlier on, sharing her own testimony on loss and how she managed to turn the situation. Mna ke ngoku nam coming in into zikaThixo zisebenza ngolu hlobo. I was thinking ukuthi zayibeka kanjani lento, but here was a previous speaker athatha ngokususela kwindlela yolahlekela. Yabo, when you see that pain and that loss and that you solely depend, you need someone to depend on. Do you know what I mean? You need strength skabawo. Isa 55 ucacisa kakuhle ke le uba seek the Lord while he may be found. Mfune. You do not, well, once you are listening to testimonies or see, you're listening to testimonies or number time, you at the point whereby let me seek this God, let me take unto and run with my life, so that I do not need to be a generation whereby siza amaKristu alilayo. uThixo ukhona. uThixo has got everything in abundance for us. So as long as we're calling on to uThixo uba makabe nathi in every situation, God is there. Xa uzayo apha bawo ndizawukwakha igesi, yintoni endizayithetha phayana. Be with me.
You know what I like about your testimony is that you're saying, my child prayed for me. And then one tata, one sisecaweni. Despite us not knowing that abantwana bethu bazi source of strength, because ithi iBhayibhile udla ngothi uNqobile wam, mama uThixo xa ndilila uyalila, xa ndivuya uyavuya, xa ndiqumbile uyaqumba, which is yena uyithatha kwesa script sithi, when my child cries I cry. Yes. When my child rejoices, I rejoice. Uyithatha phayena. So uThixo umva msinyane, not that akayiva yethu imithandazo, but umthandazo that comes from an innocent soul, a soul that is pure. Umthandazo pure, ongena agenda behind. Othi Thixo sikelela ubani. Umva msinyane lo mthandazo Thixo. So here's your child has been given power. Wathi Thixo sikelela utata wam. You came to church, to the child's prayer. That is how powerful it is, Bapulapuli. To a child's prayer, you went to church. Because mntana akavelanga wafika, wavela wathi tata masicaweni, uqale wayithandazela pha ecaweni phakathi. Now you come, as much as you are not mentioning it, you come into a space of commodities where you are dealing with commodities as expensive and that bring life into us up in South Africa. Yeah. We're talking about iron, we're talking about coal, we're talking about copper, gold, diamonds. He's just not wanting to be honest, so I'm bringing it out there. You're talking about commodities as your iron, your coal, your thing, everything, gold, copper, those things, you know, but you are bringing those things, you are doing that business that lamtana is doing that. But do you see the power of God? God does not work with how you look outside. Ujonga inhliziyo uThixo. Ufuna inhliziyo because you are in a relationship. Ndidla ngothi ke siya xa ndithetha namaphulaphuli ndithi ngumtshato. Yeah. Kukujola ubuKristu. Nethi uthi ndiyakuvuma njengenkosi yomsindisi nobomi bam, sigqibile siyajola sinesijolo serious, which is idinga into yoba sibe constant. So ndibe constant kuwe.
If I may add, Payan, you mentioned once uThixo places i-blessings yakho on someone. When kuthiwe bavumelene abantwana baze kum, you understand? That carries weight.
Yes.
When you go before uThixo make Christian, but you are not taking any steps. laa nto iye ikubambezele, you might say uThixo akekho, yabo. So kweyami case ke incedile that I actually learned ukuthi there is power in actually listening to ivoice yabantwana. uThixo uyabava. There is power in giving as well, you know. But kule nto ithethayo ke yoba even in the business and all of those things, the Bible teaches us to be humble. It teaches us uba uzibeke phansi, udlale phansi, ube domet. Abantu banganyathela kuwe bathini, but if iregister yakho ibhaliwe emazulwini that umkhulu emazulwini, you may be small apha,
but you are
but
rich in
you are
heaven.
rich, you are rich in heaven. Anything oyenzayo, you carry that with you. So hence kubakho ne-lifestyle. Once you start into uba ne-lifestyle that ukuthi you must be a giver. You'll find even abantu abanemali, abantu aba-rich, they know ukuthi the only way to make more money is to give it away.
But you know, I like that because you always feed people on Thursday. Is it still Thursday and Friday?
We Saturdays, and then we do it on Wednesdays.
Yes.
It's during the week.
So you still feed people, and I always say isandle esiphayo sisandle sikelelekileyo. Ndithetha qho loo nto leyo. He does feeding soup kitchen ephuma epokothweni yakhe baphulaphuli. Akho sponsor, akho ntoni. He goes and buys from his salary yakhe. So he's basically doing the tithing. Utayidisha twice ke nake. Utayidisha enkonzweni aphinda utayidishe by feeding people. You know, that is strength because you are showing the word. Ibuhlungu nje amaKristu xa sisithetha inyani emsulwa ne. AmaKristu afuna uba ngumKristu ahambisa ivangeli ngomlomo. But we need to be the doers of the word because the word says feed my people. What are we feeding amaKristu? Because kaloku ngumKristu nalowa ungayiyo ecaweni Sunday ulala endleleni ngengubo. NgumKristu lowana at the end of the day. Ngumntu kaThixo. Uphefumlelwe ngomoya kaThixo. So you are doing that. Uhambisela vangeli lithi, let me feed a soul. Let me change the life of a soul. Those things are very powerful. It shows the strength that God has put it in you. So yeah, he does a lot of things as much as he's not putting it there. But I love the fact that uthi 2019 ndimsele wonke. You know, which means we recover from whatever spirit is possessed ubomi bethu.
You know, these things kodwa uSathane asebenzisa into akwazi ukuyakuthanda. And you know ukuthi uSathane akavesekanga wawa nje naphi na. He was right there. So he knows most of what happens in the kingdom. He's part of the kingdom. He was used to tempt Job. He was there for Yesu after 40 days. He's always been at the right place at the right time to do land. So nalapha ebomini bakho as you going buya kubomi uyayithanda imali. We'll use money for ukuwisa. Uyayithanda into ethile, uyakuthanda into emnandi, uyakuthanda ukutya. He'll bring food. Beninzi, uyayithanda imali, uyakuzisela millions. And then uzlose when
who you are.
Yeah, and you'll find ukuthi to show ukuthi that is what he brought to you to make sure ukuthi uya kwi-kingdom yakhe. That thing never cascades to your descendants because they are not part of the agreement that you might have had naye ungayazi. So kumi incedi into ye-lifestyle. When I talk of a lifestyle, ubaphulaphuli, into what you do in the secret life. As Christians, we always say ukuthi do not force me, Lord, to be at the center of your will. Whatever I'm doing, I must be is it at the center of the will? And you get to a point whereby even noba ungabe usebenzile if you get to a point ufike emsebenzini ngo9 ungambhala u8 ku timesheet. No that those kinds of things anto
Ezanto ezincinci sicinga useless.
Bengincima fana ngizawubhala my mandate, but there's a voice that talks to you.
That corrects you.
Because now you have taken the step to seek that face, to seek that God, to seek that voice. Now there's that voice. There's also another voice that also speaks to you. So you procrastinate, you do all of those
Laziness,
things.
spirit of
So
laziness.
there's a voice speaking to you. So there's no one that could say it's in between. Yabona. uThixo ndimthanda ngaloo nto. uThixo ungabi nguThixo xa kumnandi umbulele, but when the going gets tough ukhangela abanye uThixo. Once umbona uThixo uThixo uyakhweleta. Khweleta gqitha uThixo and uyakubonisa uba uyakhweleta, yabo. So once you decide, there's a song endiyithanda 18, I have decided to follow Jesus. I have decided. Families may mock me. Abantu banganyemba, abantu bangandihleka, abantu bangathi ndiyijoke. Ufuna loo nto Yesu. Do something crazy ngoThixo and you'll see akho testimony better than yakho.
Yes. You are a living testimony on your own.
You have your own. Like as I was saying, sis Nobathembu shared, there's Olwethu unezakhe that I know of. Nawe usendlini unezakho that are waiting to be tapped. So long uba wena uthi Thixo jonga lento and yazi Olwethu banokubalisela. Le nto uthetha ngayo idibene nezi commodities. That is a space where you negotiate. Negotiate kakhulu. That is what you do there. You negotiate kakhulu. But there are things that uqonda uba apha andikho kwi-league yam, uyabona. But uthi Thixo qualify me by your mercy. I'm not qualified to be in this space. I'm not qualified for this position, but Lord, I'm depending on your mercy. Yabona inceba kabawo surpasses everything.
Yes.
Grace. I can be praying, I can be doing all of these things, but if I have mercy, that all robberies and everything in the last minute, what habo wena Yesu uyangena moseparatise so nje yabo. So the mercy triumphs over everything. So that is the gist of everything.
No, thank you, Sia. We are out of time. Siyabulela baphulaphuli for staying tuned in. Niyayazi mos uba ngu-6 to 7, but due to the fact that we have two guests and siye saqala sakwi-praise, ndiyabulela ngenceba engaka, ndiyabulela ngohlala nam. Siyabulela kuPutsiya with the testimony, because we see ordinary people having ordinary testimonies. And siyabona ukuthi everyone goes through something out there. We all go through something, but kukuvuka okubalulekileyo basivuke njani from ukufa ebesinako, sivuke njani from ukufa spiritually, sivuke njani from ukufa mentally, sivuke njani from ukufa financially, sivuke njani from ukufa in all aspects of our lives. And remember, okubalulekileyo is that uThixo uqala ngaphakathi. If you change within, the rest izabonakala ngaphandle. Ayizovele nje, izavele ibonakale ngaphandle, izazibonakalela without wena uba uyivoice out. So we do thank God for that. Siyabulela, anguThixo angakusekelela Siya in your space of a business, because I know that space is very hard.
Yes.
Amadoda la afika athi la madoda makhulu ba anguThixo angakusikelela in that space, akwandisele ipokotho zakho, akwandisele, because to feed another soul ukutya is a very big testimony. Because uThixo eBhayibhileni bendilambile khange undinike kudla, ndagula ndasesibhedlela anandivizithela. So you are actually doing the word. Siyambulela uThixo ngoko, ahlale nawe, ahlale nabantwana bakho abasikelele maxesha onke. Angayeki usikelela abantwana bakho, because they will grow up. Abaphulaphuli ke abantwana bafunda kuthi. If you pray constantly, nabo bazawuthandaza constantly. Ndibone phaa koNqobile Siya, oyiNqobile ulikhangela into ethi ngoku, Thixo ukhavarishe amadonga neefestire ngegazi lakho Yesu Kristu, which is uvale umntana ufunxa le nto.
Ile lifunekayo, because yazi once you mention loo nto leyo, we live, the world is not ordinary. You can't meet someone uzibona une thombe legazi. You can't just walk into a place ube ne-cramp engapheliyo or have a migraine. You know what I mean? So oNqobile ka beveske batsho nje lo magazi mawathi ba right oNqobile naye ka bengena etransportini no transport mayitshisa everywhere you go you must be praying in your heart kodwa pray without ceasing.
Yes, which
So
is
you know
laa nto ithi funeka ibonakale ngaphandle into oyithetha ngaphakathi noThixo wakho izivelele. Ithi ke iBhayibhile isandla sase-left into eyenziwa sisandla sase-right mayingasazi, which means nyhani abantwana nabantu bafunxa kuthi as long as we pray ezikoneni zethu izawubonakala ngaphandle. NguThixo nganisikelela ke nani baphulaphuli, bekumnandi uhlala nani. Ndizanibona on Thursday morning between 8 and 9 o'clock on Uloza Wamamfene, talking about hydroponics and aquaponics systems. Sine-specialist ke sethu phayana sizawufika usisibabalwa uzawugaleleka Thursday morning at 8 o'clock. Stay tuned phayana. Niphinde nidibane nam on Sunday. Sundays sine 6 hours together baphulaphuli. Sine 6 hours together Sunday on Testify with Olwethu Kasalayi. Sundays ndizabe ndiqhuba noyeni his presence kasisipush ngesi on Sunday. Nithi stay tuned ke nindijoyine. Niyayazi mos ndinithanda ngolaa thando, agape love. Bye bye bethuna, bye bye.